Tukhtasinov looks real game. Stone-faced and ready to go. Bouncing around in his corner.
He looks like he's ready to go. He doesn't want to wait another second.
Yeah, he's centering.
Touch of the gloves. Oh. Exchanging early.
Good combination early. Sarvarbek has great hands, it looks like. Mike's in on the takedown.
Beautiful takedown. Right to the mount.
Great body lock. He's got to watch the sweep here, though, now. And he got swept. Sarvarbek on top. Postured. Quite a bit of scrambling going on here.
Big action early. A lot of scrambles. A lot happening here. Beautiful grappling exchanges here by both these men.
Fitzroy back on top. Great scramble. Looking to control, slow things down just a little bit.
I think, from what we're seeing tonight, you could tell that the skill level in amateur MMA has really, really jumped up. These guys don't look, like your typical amateur novice guys. They look very skilled.
Well, I mean, all the guys we've had fighting under these novice rules are fighting out of camps that have fighters that are in the Bellator and UFC. I mean, it's not like they're from like little hokey pokey gyms in the Midwest and they don't have top level guys to train with. I mean, Long Island MMA has a handful of guys in the UFC, including you, Chris Wade.
Yes.
And Renzo Gracie's gym, New York City, they've been around forever. I mean, GSP trains there. I mean, I think, who else is there now? I'm trying to think. There's a couple.
David Branch is there.
David Branch is there full time. I think Jake Shields has been there for his last couple fights as well.
The list goes on. There's a ton of top level guys there. Yeah. I mean the days of training like an amateur to fight are over. If you're going to be an amateur, you're training like a professional. We got Fitzroy still on top here. He's stuck in half guard. He's working to advance here. And Sarvarbek's game on the ground here. He's up to the task, man. They've been neutralizing each other. This is a chess game grappling-wise.
Like we said earlier with these novice rules, he who has the top position is winning in the judge's eyes. But now that Sarvarbek is on top, I mean, if he finishes out the round like this, it's going to be about half and half.
Yeah,
tough round to judge.
The way this one's gone, they've changed positions, top, bottom, so many times that you don't even know how they're going to judge this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a judge in this fight so far. This is a tough one to score.
Fitzroy's looking to sweep again. I mean, this would be the third, fourth, fifth even change of position here.
We got a submission attempt locked up here. We got an anaconda underneath from Sarvarbek. Fitzroy defending very well. 10 seconds left. Can he survive?
It looks like he's going to. He's got those legs pretty far away from him. I don't think he's going to be able to seal the deal here.
Great defense by Fitzroy. Very technical defense. He defended that beautifully.
Again, that comes back to both of these guys training at gyms where there's a lot of experience and nobody panics.
Now, that was a really close round. Fitzroy had a real spectacular takedown, body lock takedown to start the fight. Both fighters had their turns in the top position, and then Sarvarbek had a decent submission attempt at the end. I don't know, how would you score this round, Chris?
You know, you can't do it, but the way you almost want to approach that is you almost want to just scratch it for both guys and move on to the second and third round and see what happens, and then revisit that. I mean, being a wrestler and seeing that first emphatic takedown, I'd give the slight edge to Fitzroy there. But that submission at the end, that was very slick. But again, well defended. So you got to give Fitzroy credit for that.
It all depends. It's subjective what the refs value, I guess.
I would say Sarvarbek got the better of the hands early on. So we'll see here in the second round if he continues to put hands on Mike until he tries for that takedown.
Sarvarbek's definitely want to keep this standing because he was landing pretty clean.
Mike has a welt under his right eye. Look, in on that double. Great finish.
Mike landed a very clean shot right there, too, before that takedown.
He also ate one, too, there, though. I don't know if you saw it from that angle, but he took one as well.
Yeah, it looked like the shot that he landed was a counter. He returned fire right after that.
Keep tabs on his right eye. It's starting to swell up for him.
We got Fitzroy again on top in half guard, working to advance here.
Good shoulder pressure. He's looking to stop some of these sweeps and rolls now. And as you start to fatigue here, that's going to be harder and harder to do. You're going to see less positional changes here. He's probably going to be able to keep this top position unless he makes a big mistake.
Yeah, those athletic scrambles are going to start to slow down as the fight goes on for sure.
Exactly.
Mike now past guard, you know, he's got the side control here.
He's looking for north-south, it almost looks like, but now he's back to side.
He's got that one arm across.
Yeah, maybe setting up that arm triangle here.
Very well, maybe.
Yeah, he doesn't have the arm. It looks like a little unorthodox.
He's got the far side, it's his left arm across his right side. I like to call that like the lunch money position there. You know, it's kind of like an old school bully move. But there's a lot of setups there on the ground when you have that control.
And you have to be a little bit creative with these novice rules because, like we said earlier, in novice rules New York, your first 2 MMA fights, you're not allowed to strike to the head on the ground. So in order to get your opponent to maybe give up a submission, maybe you're going to have to do a little bit of unorthodox grappling work.
And I think him working a north-south like he was is the perfect idea to be unorthodox there, because then the body almost becomes the head, where you can strike straight down and you're going to hit the core instead of hitting the head.
And that'll pay dividends as the fight goes on. You know, you start to get fatigued, you take a bunch of body shots, it's going to slow you down.
Exactly. You might not finish in 1 shot or 2 shots, but it is going to wear your opponent down. So look to see Mike try to open that guard up again, pass, maybe work to north-south, and rip some shots to the core.
You got to say Mike's been pretty dominant this round. He's maintained that top position and he's staying busy. He's passed guard once. You know, if you're Sarvarbek now, what do you think, Chris Eric? You got to start working to get up now, right?
Yeah, he needs to be working to sweep or get up right now. He's losing this round, and Mike is staying active. He seems content where he is, and Sarvarbek looks like maybe he spent a little too much juice in that early round trying to scramble, get on top, and finish that choke. That might be affecting him now at this point.
Fitzroy looks very efficient in his energy output as well. He doesn't look winded. He looks like he's taking his time. He's picking his shots, and he's not exerting too much energy.
In my experience with him, don't expect him to fade too much in the 3rd round. You're going to see same thing. Good energy.
Much easier round to score there. I'd say that was a pretty clear 10-9 round for Fitzroy.
Absolutely. First one was about dead even. I give the edge in the fight to Fitzroy right now. Interesting too, Fitzroy doesn't want to sit in the corner, which is a technique that some fighters have been using lately.
Yeah, some fighters don't like to sit down in between rounds. I've stood on a couple of occasions, but mainly to intimidate my opponent who I knew was tiring out. But most of the time I sit down. I like to have that little break.
Yeah, this could be a little bit of mental warfare here with Fitzroy. Sarvarbek looks to be tired. He's breathing heavily on his chair. And Mike standing up doesn't really want much water.
Now, if you're on the opposing end here and you're seeing your opponent standing, what's going through your mind? Is it working?
You're looking for energy somewhere. You're trying to dig deep right now. Maybe hurt him early.
Let's see if Sarvarbek
look for some big shots early from him.
If you're Sarvarbek, you got to think he's going to look to keep it standing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here we are in our 3rd and final round, brought to you by Beyond Average Apparel. You can check them online at beyondaverageapparel.com.
Looked like they were shooting out some of their T-shirts earlier to the crowd there. They're giving away some apparel. Some good stuff for the people in attendance tonight, huh?
Great exchange early. Mike continues to kick the leg. He's not really setting it up, and that's when Sarvarbek is countering heavy. He's got to stop doing that.
They're chatting in there. They were gesturing to each other there, talking about bringing it on after that exchange. Some showmanship out of both of them.
Mike has a great sit-through when he gets trapped underneath, but it costs a lot of energy to do that, and he's done it about half a dozen times or so now in the fight, and you could see that he's kind of settled underneath now. You can't keep doing that.
Well, perhaps his efficiency in that 2nd round there gave him some latitude to let it hang out here in that 3rd round. He's got a little bit more in the tank. Maybe he can look to expand in the 3rd and final round.
That 1st round is up in the air. It was so close. Both fighters really have to win this round.
Great sprawl by Sarvarbek.
Yeah, if you're in either of these guys' corners going into that 3rd round, you got to tell the guy that the fight's coming down to this round.
I see a big smile on the faces of Fitzroy's corner over there when he scored that last takedown. I think they feel pretty happy and confident now that he'll be up 2-1 if he's able to finish in that top position.
Well, based on the time right now, there's only half the round left. We've got 1:30 left, and he's on top. And if you're going by what you saw in that last round, I'd be pretty happy as well if I was in his corner. It looks like he's been able to maintain that top position pretty well.
Yeah, if I'm Mike here, I'm looking to just steer him right to where my corner is. He's about 2-3 feet off to the left of his corner. Put his head right against the cage and just continue to work that body. It doesn't look like Sarvarbek has what it takes at this point to get up unless the ref helps him out. And Mike is just simply too active for that.
It's the one thing we haven't really seen much tonight out of the fighters who've been put on the bottom. You haven't seen as much urgency to get up. You've seen a lot of guys content to play guard tonight, and that it can work against you.
That's like the first thing I tell anybody that tells me that they're going to do an amateur fight. I said, all right, we gotta work on get-ups from every single position. The second my back touches the ground in an amateur fight, even a professional fight, it's get the F up as quickly as possible, because every second your back is on the ground, the judge is scoring that as a losing second for you. And the Hail Mary submissions don't really exist anymore because everybody's on such a high level. You're not really able to pull out arm bars or pull out guillotines or triangles like you were 10, 15 years ago. Everybody's just too savvy for that.
The off-your-back submission is pretty rare. I mean, what's the last high-level off-your-back submission we saw? It was maybe Anthony Pettis, Ben Henderson. You got that straight arm bar from underneath.
That was even very quick, too. It wasn't like he was down on his back for a while. He just sort of like fell right into it.
Fitzroy here he's closing out this round pretty strong.
Lots of ground and pound here. He's postured up. He's really putting it on the body.
How do you score that last round, Chris?
I'll give that 10-9 to Fitzroy.
What do you think, Eric? Do you agree?
I would agree with that, too. I have Fitzroy up probably 2-1, giving Sarvarbek the first round just because he landed a couple really clean strikes and he had that submission attempt at the end.
That was a great fight. That was a lot of action there, a lot of good exchanges on the feet, high-level grappling on the bottom. Great fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' score totals. All 3 judges scored this bout identically, 29-28, all for your winner by unanimous decision, Mike the Boy Toy Fitzroy.
All right, guys, I'm here with your winner, the Boy Toy, Mike Fitzroy.
Yo, what's up?
Excellent fight, man. That was a real impressive back and forth action. A lot of good exchanges on the feet, good grappling. You looked really well-rounded and very, very well prepared.
Yeah, I prepared really hard for this fight. I fight to not have to go to a 9-to-5 every day, so I'm hoping it'll start coming to a culmination with stuff like that.
Well, it was your 3rd fight, and you're 3-0, so it looks like you're on your way. What's next?
Man, I think a belt would look real nice around my waist, personally.
What do you guys think? Title shot for the Boy Toy? Congratulations, Mike.